categorization of each archetype in your life, I'll be going into why do we have these connections? What's the purpose? What's the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason? Right? Um all right, so doppelganger energy. The fuck is that? Doppelganger energy is different from copycat energy. Um, Meaning your doppelganger will literally look like you, but slight variation. So the texture of the hair may be different. Um, their skin tone may be lighter or darker, or the same as yours. But they'll have the same like facial features as you. Okay. I know throughout I've had like maybe I know of two doppelganger energy that I've seen thus far. Now, doppelgangers are far different from copycat energy, all right? Because while a copycat may even try to look physically like you, like some people who are lost in that section of the matrix in copycat energy, they will go to the extreme. This is why I say copycats are fanatics, because they go to the extremes. All right, you'll have some people who will do facial reconstruction surgery to look like the idol of their affection or their muse or whatever, you know. But doppelganger energy, they will actually look like the original, but they're living a far different life. One of my doppelgangers, because I went to an all girls school, right? And one of my doppelgangers, she went to the same school. She's just like a generation, like maybe a generation after me. All right. So, while I may be like maybe 10 to 15 years older than my doppelganger that I know of. She looks just like me, the same facial feature, the same smile, even the way that I talk. All right, so a doppelganger can look like a duplicate of an original, right? But you see, the thing is, with doppelgangers, they live an entirely different existence than the original. All right, so it can be a case where they're on their soul journey. They just have the face of an original. Okay, might have different career paths. Hey, they might even have the same career path, right? It could be an instance where one is more successful than the other. It just depends, right? So a doppelganger will look exactly like you as the original. All right. They may be the same build, the same height, have the same voice. They will. They could go to the same school as you. There are a lot of similarities as it relates to how they look. All right. So whereas a copycat energy tries to emulate the original, a doppelganger actually looks like the original, would look like identical twin of the original, but they are on a different path in terms of what it is that they're doing in their life. You know, you may have one doppelganger that's a mother, another who is a singer, who is a writer, and so on and so forth. Okay, the specification, whatever they choose to be, they are make conscious choices to do this. Now, for doppelgangers, sometimes a doppelganger may know that another replica of themselves exists. Sometimes they just don't know and they just go on about their lives, right? As it pertains to my doppelganger that I've seen in real life, because like not a lot of people look like me. Okay, so it was actually one of my best friends that sent me the picture and said, Tesh, that's my name for those who know me, right? And said, Tesh, I seen a girl that looks just like you, and she talks just like you, she laughs just like you, she has your same smile, everything, okay, just like you. And I was like, that's so crazy, okay. um and she sent me the picture, and there I was looking at a younger version of myself. That was so trippy. I was like, oh my god, because I was a little bit excited because I like those weird experiences. I was so excited because it's like not everyone looks like me. All right, so that was so interesting to find out that someone cut from the very same template, just like maybe 10 years younger than me, exists, right? She has locks like me, but the thing is, her locks is of a different size, and she colored hers, right? So, I mean, the same thing, the same facial feature, the same expressions. She sounds the same because my bestie got to talk to her. She sounds the same. She laughs the same. The difference between me and her is at the time that I found out about my doppelganger, I was a mother. And she, I think, was just leaving high school, if I'm not mistaken, and she went to the same high school that I went to. That's another thing. And it's so weird that my bestie was telling me about her, because it turns out that she, during her tenure in the same alma mater, right, she was my best friend's little sister best friend. So that, isn't that trippy? That was so trippy. I found that so interesting. Like, she looked exactly like me, right? um the same height, everything, the same body shape, every single thing. The only thing that's different is the fact that her locks are a little bit thicker than mine. And I suppose we were at different stages in our life as well. But a doppelganger can go on, live a fulfilled life, not knowing that they're a doppel. And two, they're not trying to emulate the original, okay? They're just trying to be themselves. They may just look like the original, but they have lived a different life, all right? So sometimes it happens. Sometimes the matrix will replicate, okay? So that's what a doppelganger is. So some doppelgangers end up being like meeting each other in like real life and end up being friends, right? And even though they look alike, when you run the DNA, it's like different DNA, you know. So that's pretty wild. All right, you'll almost feel like you were cloned, essentially. Doppelgangers just look the same, but they have completely different DNA, and they have different roles and function that they're playing out in this matrix, in the society, and so forth. They're a whole being by themselves, unlike the copycat energy. The copycat energy would doesn't look like the original, but tries to emulate the look of the original, tries to emulate the energy of the original. Whereas a doppelganger may look like the original, but is just living a completely different life. All right. So so not only is doppelganger real, right? They also may possess different energy signatures. Okay. Whereas I believe copycat is an energy in itself. It could be an entity. I don't know. Right? I've never like delved that far. Okay. But yeah, so that's the difference.